Now let us do some problems of 12 point.
Student fundamental theorem of arithmetics. It is related with the prime numbers and composite number. It gives the relation between prime number and composite number. So first of all, let me tell you what is meaning of prime numbers. Prime numbers are those numbers having only two factors. Only two factors means that factors the number itself, and one, these are the two factors. Number one is neither prime nor composite. One has got only one factor. Prime number have got two factors. Prime number start from 2. 2 is the smallest prime number. 2 has got two factors, that is 1 and 2. Next prime number is 3. 3 has got two factors, 1 and 3. Means 3 divided by 1 and 3. After that 4. 4 has got more than two factors. 4 has got more than two factors means 4 divided by 1 as well as 2 as well as 4. So this 4 is first composite number. So what is composite number? Composite numbers are those numbers having more than two factors. So what happened? The numbers we have divided in three groups. First is 1. 1 is neither prime nor composite. It has got only one factor. Another numbers having exactly two factors, that is 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. These are the prime numbers, have got exactly two factors. And another group is more than two factors. More than two factors start from 4. 4 has got more than two factors. 6 has got more than two factors. Then 8 has got more than two factors. 9, 10, 12, 14, 15. These numbers have got more than two factors. These are called the composite numbers. Now you know that every composite number has got some prime factorization is there. Suppose 6 is there, then 6 is factorized 2 into 3. So what this fundamental theorem of arithmetic say that every composite number can be expressed as product of primes, or every composite number can be factorized as product of primes. Means every composite number has got factorization in terms of product of primes, and this factorization is unique. This factorization is unique apart from order which factors occur. Means factors may be occur, suppose 6 is there, 2 may be occur first or 3 may be occur first. But 6 has got factors 2 and 3. So what is this fundamental theorem of arithmetic say? Every composite number can be uniquely expressed as product of prime. The order of prime factors can be altered, or order of prime factors can be changed. This is what's a fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Let us see this. 140 can be factorized as 2 into 2 into 5 into 7. So 140 has got 1, 2, 3 and 4 prime factors. You can write this 2 first or 5 first or 7 first. It makes no change in factorization of 140. But this 140 has got has got prime factors or divisor 2, second 2, 5 and 7. So it is 2 square into 5 into 7. 156 can be factorized as 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 13. So 156 divisor of 156 are 2, 2, 3 and 13. Means it is 2 square 3 into 13. Similarly, this number, prime factorization of this number you can see. This 7429 can be factorized as 17 into 19 into 23. If you want to write this 23 first, or 17 minus commutation rule is applied. So every composite number every composite number has got unique prime factorization. Apart which prime factor you can take first, which prime factor you can take last, that is no problem at all. It makes no difference. You can make this factor tree also. Suppose 140 is there. 140 can be factorized as 2 into 70. 70 again factorizes 2 into 35. 35 can be factorized as 5 into 7. Finally, 140 has got factor 2 into 2 into 5 into 7. Similarly, you can see this prime factorization tree. Now, by this fundamental law theorem of arithmetic, you can find the SCF and LCM of any numbers. You can find SCF and LCM of any number. Now, what is SCF? SCF is highest common factor. Its another name is GCD, greatest common divisor. Factors and divisor both are near about, both are same. So, in first problem, we have to find SCF and LCM of 26 and 91. So 26 can be factorized as 2 into 13. 91 can be factorized as prime factorized as 7 into 13. In this both case 13 is common. So 13 is common, that is why SCF is 13. So this is how to find the SCF. What happened? 26, its prime factors are 2 into 13. 91, its prime factor are 7 into 13. And common factor in this both cases is 13, that is why SCF is 13. Now what happened in LCM, what we do? First of all, we write the SCF. Here 13 we have written. And remaining the uncommon factor, that is 2 and 7, we multiply it. Then resultant into this 181. 181 is 2 into 7 into 13, 182. 182, that is what say LCM. So SCF is 13 and LCM is 182. It is the rule, that it is the observation, and you can verify also that the LCM into SCF into LCM, that is 13 into 182, that is equal to 2366. And product of these two numbers is 2366. So LCM into SCF, that is product of two numbers, that is only for the two numbers. Let us say this second problem. 510 can be factorized 2 into 3 into 5 into 17. 92 can be factorized 2 into 2 into 23. In these both cases 2 is common. Only one factor 2 is common. So SCF of this is 2. And to find the SCF, what we do? First of all, we write the SCF, that is 2. And uncommon factor, these are the uncommon factor. 3 into 5 into 17 into 2 into 3. So we have write 2 into 3 into 5 into 17 into 23. This is common factor. We don't write double. Remaining are 2 into 3 into 5 into 17 into 13. That is give 23,460 is the SCF. It is the LCM. SCF is 2 and LCM is this. If you do product of this both numbers, that is 46,920, and if you do product of LCM and SCF, that is 2 into this 23,460, that is also 46,920. So this is also get verified that LCM into SCF, that is equal to product of these two numbers, but again it is applied only for the two numbers. Now in the similar manner you can find the LCM and SCF of 4 numbers also. So let us find the LCM and SCF of these 3 numbers 12, 15 and 21. 12 can be factorized as 2 into 2 into 3. 15 can be factorized as 3 into 5. 21 can be factorized as 3 into 7. In this all these 3 numbers, 3 is common and only one 3 is common. So SCF is 3. So we write 3 in the LCM, and remainings are there's 2 square, then here 5 is, and here 7. But in this case 3 is common, so it write once. So LCM is this SCF and uncommon factor 2 square 5 into 7, that 420 is the LCM. But as such there is no product rule regarding this LCM. The product rule is applied for only numbers, two numbers, LCM and SCF of 2 numbers only. Next problem, second problem, 17, 23 and 29. 17, 23 and 29. These are the 17, 23 and 29. These are the prime numbers. So it has got only one common factor, that is 1. So SCF of 3 prime, SCF of any prime number, whatever maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, it is always 1. And LCM is product of these 3 number. This is possible. This is become possible. This is so LCM of this is 17, 23 and 29, that is 11339. So here in this case, product of this prime is the product of this, all these 3 number is the LCM, and SCF is 1. So SCF of any prime number is always 1 and LCM is product of that number. It is not for only prime numbers. Here 8, 9 and 25. 8, 9 and 25, in this case also there is no common factor at all, so SCF is 1 and LCM is 8 into 9 into 25, that is equal to 1800. So if we have taken coprime numbers, coprime means numbers having no common factor other than 1, then what happens? SCF become 1 and LCM become product of that number. Now another important problem is that we have to check whether any number power n can end with digit 0 or not. Now you know that 10, 20, 30, 40 and multiple of 10 are have got digits. These numbers have got 0 as a digits at the end. But that require 2 factors, that is 2 and 5 must be present in that particular numbers. 10 means it is 2 into 5. So 20 means 2 into 2 into 5. 30 means 2 into 3 into 5. So whenever there is 0 digits there in any number, then it must have got 2 factor 2 and 5. But let us see this 6 raised to power n. 6 can be factorized as 2 into 3 and its power n. So in this case, this 6 has got 2 and 3 as a factor. It means that it does not contain 5 here. 5 here in this factor of factorization of 6. Therefore, it cannot be end with 0. So what is ultimately what I want to tell you, that unless and until any number does not contain 2 and 5, it cannot be end with 0. Means any number does not have factor 2 and 5, it cannot be end with 0. So 2 raised to power n, 3 raised to power n, 4 raised to power n, 5 raised to power n, 6 raised to power n, 7 raised to power n, 8 raised to power n, 9 raised to power n. All these cannot end with 0, but 10 raised to power n end with 0. Again 11 raised to power n to 19 raised to power n cannot end with 0. Again 20 raised to power n end with 0. Now let us prove that root 2 is not rational number. Root 2 is not rational means we want to prove that root 2 is irrational. You know that if any number is rational number, then it can be expressed as in the form of p by q or say r by s, where r and s, these are the integers, and s not equal to, this denominator should not be equal to 0. That is condition. But let us assume that this r and s has got more common factor other than 1. Common factor other than 1 means suppose this is what, say 2 by 6 say. So 2 by 6 has got common factor 2. So 2 by 6 can be reduced to 1 by 3. So suppose this r and s has got common factor other than 1. Then what we do? We divide the r by s by common factor and let it be reduced to a by b. Now this a and b, these are the coprimes. Coprimes means this a and b does not contain any common factor other than 1. A and b coprime and b not equal to 0, and a and b both are the integer, that is condition. So instead of all this, you can start here also. If you want to skip all these steps, then what you can start, let us assume that root 2 is rational, where root 2 equal to a by b, where a and b are the coprime numbers, a and b are the integers, and b not equal to 0. That is you can start from this also. Now what we do? We do the cross multiplication, then it becomes a equal to b into root 2, b into root 2. Now what we do the squaring of this. Squaring become, after squaring it become a square, and root 2 become 2, and it is 2b square. So a square equal to 2b square. A square equal to 2b square, it means that this a square has got 1 factor 2, means 2 divides a square. 2 divides a square means a square has got factor 2. Any number has square of any number has got factor 2, then its square root also has factor 2. So it means that this 2 divides a also, means a has got factor 2 also. A square has got factor 2 means a has got factor 2. So a is a multiple of 2, so we can write a equal to 2c. A is multiple of 2, a into 2, a equal to 2c, and we put it is in this case, that is a square equal to 2b square. Here a square we have replaced by 2c, and 2c whole square become 4c square, that is equal to this 2b square. After this dividing it by 2, then it become b square equal to 2c square. B square equal to 2c square, it means that 2 divides b square or 2 divides b, means b has got factor 2. B has got factor 2. So in this first case a has got factor 2, and in the second case b has got factor 2. In this case 2 divides a, and in this case 2 divides b, means in this both cases a and b have got one common factor, that is at least one factor, that is 2, which contradict our fact that we have taken a and b. These are the co-prime numbers. A and b are the co-prime number, means that a and b have got no common factor other than 1. But here a and b have got at least 2 as a common factor. So it contradict what we said. So it contradict that root 2 equal to a by b is contradict, and it means that root 2 not equal to a by b. It means that we conclude that root 2 is not a rational number. In the similar manner, if we replace 2 by 3, then with the same step we get the expression, we get the proof that root 3 is not a rational number. For that also we can start from the step, that is, let us say root 3 is a rational, then root 3 can be expressed as a by b, where a and b are integers, b not equal to 0, and a and b are the co-primes, means they have got no common factor other than 1. Then again we do cross multiplication, then it become a equal to b into root 3. After squaring it become a square equal to 3b square, means it means that a square is divisible by 3, or a is divisible by 3, means a has at least one factor 3. So it means that a is multiple of 3, means a equal to 3c. A equal to multiple of 3 means a equal to 3c. C is another integer, C is another integer, another integer. So this if you replace this 3c by a here, then this 3c whole square become 9c square, and it is equal to 3b square. If you simplify, then b square become 3c square. It means that b square is divisible by 3, or b is divisible by 3. It means that b has got one factor, at least one factor 3. It means that in both cases, there is at least 3 common factor of a and b, which contradict that a and b are co-primes. It means that what we have considered is wrong, means root 3 equal to a by b is wrong, and if root 3 is not equal to a by b, then root 3 is the irrational number. In the similar manner, you can replace 3 by 5, then you can get root 5 is irrational. Now there is problem in the board examination regarding that. It is not to prove that root 2 or root 3 or root 5 are irrational, but already given that root 2 is not rational, root 2 is irrational, and we want to show that 2 root 2 is not rational or 2 root 2 is irrational. So what we do, we again start with the contradiction. Let us consider that this 2 root 2 is rational and it is represented by rational number r, means 2 root 2 equal to r. If we take this 2, if we transpose this 2, then what happens? Root 2 equal to r minus 2. You know that r is rational and 2 is rational, means this part means one of the side of this equation r minus 2 become rational and root 2 is irrational. This become equal when and only when this r is irrational, but we have already taken that r is rational. So it means that r minus 2 is here rational, r minus 2 is rational, and this root 2 is irrational. It means that it can be equal if and only if this r become irrational, but what we have taken that r we have taken rational. It means that this whatever we have said that this 2 plus root 2 equal to rational is wrong. Our assumption r is rational is wrong, and it means that 2 plus root 2 is not rational but it is irrational. In the similar manner, we can prove that the 3 into root 3 is not rational. So we have to start with the same contradictory statement, that let us consider that 3 into root 3 be a rational number r. 3 into root 3 be rational number r. We have already given that root 3 is irrational. Now what we do? We divide this equation by 3, then root 3 equal to r by 3. Root 3 equal to r by 3. You know that division of two rational is always rational. Means r by 3, r is rational and divided by 3 is rational, means this become rational part. And root 3 is irrational. Root 3 is not rational. It means that these two can be equal if and only if r is irrational, but we have already given that r is rational. It means that it contradicts that root 3 is rational, it contradicts. So root 3 is rational is contradict this, because if root 3 is rational, then this must be equal to rational, but r by 3 is irrational and root 3 is rational, so both are not equal. It means that 3 into root 3 not equal to rational number. So our assumption that 3 into root 3 is rational is wrong. Now there are problems like this, prove that root 3 minus root 2 irrational. So again we have to start with same contradictory statement. We have to prove this provided that root 2 and root 3 both are irrational given. So what we do, we put the root 3 minus root 2 equal to r. If you do squaring of this, then become, if you do squaring, a minus b square identity applied, then it become 5 minus 2 root 6, that is equal to r square. If you take this 5, if you transpose this 5, then it become minus 2 into root 6, that is equal to r square minus 5. And so this root 6 become r square minus 5 divided by 2, that is of minus. This plus and minus sign makes no difference at all. But what happened here? R square minus 5, r is rational and 5 is rational, so this numerator is rational and denominator is rational, and this part is irrational. So this rational part and irrational part cannot be equal. This can be equal if this can be equal if this become irrational. This become irrational. It means that the root 6 cannot be equal to r square minus 5 by 2, and it means that whatever we assume that root 3 minus root 2 is rational is wrong. It is irrational.